You ever feel like no matter how many tutorials you watch, you're still stuck at square one? Like you've been coding for months, but every time you sit in front of a blank code editor, your mind goes just as blank? Yeah, I've been there. You watch a few Python videos, maybe a crash course on JavaScript. You even follow along and type everything line by line, and it feels like you're making progress. But the moment you try to build something on your own, without help, nothing comes to you. You can't even remember how to create a simple loop, let alone a whole project. That was me a couple of years ago. I was deep into web development tutorials, watching them back to back, like they were Netflix episodes. I had folders full of project files from other people's code, but none of it was really mine. Then one day, I decided to challenge myself. I closed all the tabs, opened VS Code, and told myself, okay, let's build that calculator you just watched a tutorial on. Guess what? I couldn't. Not even close. I couldn't remember how to set up the buttons, how to add the click events. Not even the basic layout in HTML. And that's when it hit me. I wasn't learning. I was just watching. It was like watching a cooking video, thinking I could make lasagna. But once I was in the kitchen, I didn't even know where to start. That frustration led me down a rabbit hole of figuring out how to actually learn, not just pretend. And that's where I discovered something called active recall. It's not a coding concept. It's a learning method, one that's used by students, doctors, engineers, people who need to remember complex stuff fast. The idea is simple. Instead of just reviewing information, you force yourself to recall it from memory. So here's how I started using it for coding. I'd watch a short tutorial, nothing long, just 10 or 15 minutes. Then I'd close it. No notes. No going back. I'd try to recreate the entire thing from scratch using only what I remembered, no matter how messy it got, no matter how many times I had to fail. And at first, it was painful. My code didn't work. I forgot things. I had to look up stuff constantly. But here's what happened. Every time I did this, I started to remember more. It was like going to gym. Yeah, it hurt at first, but every round made me stronger. Within weeks, I could build mini projects on my own, not because I memorized them, but because I understood them. And once that understanding kicked in, I realized I didn't need to rely on tutorials anymore. Later, I added another layer to this, a technique called the Feynman technique. It's named after a Nobel Prize-winning physicist, and the rule is this. If you can't explain something in simple words, you don't really understand it. So now after building something, I'd open a blank Google Doc or a notebook and pretend I was explaining it to a complete beginner. I'd write out how the functions worked, what each line did, what the bugs were, and how I fixed them. Eventually, I took it further and started blogging. Not for an audience, not to make money, just for myself. I created a free blog on WordPress and wrote down every little thing I learned. One day I wrote about JavaScript array methods. The next day about setting up a Node.js server. It didn't have to be perfect. Most of the posts weren't. But weeks later, when I forgot something, I'd search my own blog and find the answer, written in my own words by my past self. This combination, active recall and teaching what I learned, made coding stick like nothing else had. And the best part is, in 2025, it works even better. Sure, we've got AI now. We got ChatGPT, GitHub Copilot, AI code assistants that can basically auto-complete your thoughts. But here's the truth. If you don't understand what the AI is doing, you're just another person copying code. You're not learning. You're just passing the problem to a machine. But when you combine smart learning techniques with AI tools, now you're dangerous. Now you're someone who can think, troubleshoot, and build things that actually work. That's the difference between a developer who's just getting by and a developer who's in demand. So if you're tired of spinning your wheels, here's your move. Next time you watch a tutorial, don't just follow along. Watch a small piece, close the video, and try to rebuild it. When you get stuck, don't panic. Figure out. Struggle with it. That struggle is learning. Then, you don't need a CS degree. You don't need to be a genius. You just need the right method and a bit of patience. This one trick, recalling from memory and explaining it back, will speed up your learning faster than anything else I've tried. And in 2025, with all the distractions and tools trying to do the thinking for you, This one simple habit can set you apart. Don't wait for the perfect course or the perfect time. Start using this trick today. Watch, recall, build, explain. That's how you go from stuck to skilled. That's how you really learn to code.